There's a generation gap in the penitentiary. There's a generation gap in the world. How do we deal with it? How do you go from point A to point B when you're dealing with young minds that aren't fully developed or young minds that don't want to hear what the hell you got to say? Let's get into it. Good morning, good morning. I'm healing from a root canal. Tooth is on fire. Gums feel like they're about to break. But I got to get the content out because people need to hear what the hell we got to say. So, that being said, the generation gap in prison. You have young people who are coming in 18, 19, 21, 25, being put into a living situation, maybe in a cell, or even just in a dorm or a pod. But the problem is, you have guys who are set in their ways, men that have been locked down for 20 plus years, in their 40s and 50s, strong men. And they instinctively, we try to mold these young dudes into convicts. But trying to teach a child, a young boy with a childlike mind, how to be a man and how to dig deep and find that inner warrior, that can be difficult. Think about raising your children. Think about how hard it is. Think about how they backtalk you. Think about all the things that you deal with your own kids. That's what some of us older veteranos deal with in the prison. That being said, at the end of the day, we take on a lot of times like a father-like role. And it can be exhausting. It can be frustrating. It can be a lot of things. Sometimes it can be rewarding. Sometimes they latch on and they listen and they hear what you got to say and they can learn from the mistakes that you made coming up in the system. Because a lot of us didn't have that. Didn't have a father figure. A lot of people didn't have a sense of direction given to them. We're not perfect. We all make mistakes. And you can spend the rest of your life chastising a man for one mistake, two mistakes, whatever, and lose sight of the goodness that he has in him. And that can be an issue. That being said, a lot of times these guys will come into a pod, they're gangbangers already, 20-year-old gangbangers with a 30 note. Maybe they don't even have a date. Now, how do you take a mind like that, a boy that don't know how to wash his ass, that don't know how to wash his clothes, that don't know how to clean nothing, because he's never been taught, and try to teach him how to mentally grasp a life fucking sentence? That's a tough dose. And sometimes they get put in a cell with you. I'm going home, Jack. I don't have a life sentence. I'm not doing lifer type shit. I'm programming. I'm working out. I'm learning a trade maybe, or I'm going to school. Something that's going to benefit me when I get out on the outside. But they put a 21-year-old knucklehead into my cell, and I got to live with this guy, and I have to try to not only mold him to be a better human being, but mold him to the type of guy that I need to live around, because I'm trying to, it's self-preservation at the end of the day. It's one of those things where I got to calm him down in order to keep my own self safe. Because you don't know what that dude's going to bring. You don't know what type of shit he's going to have going on. I had a youngin' come into the cell. He was from Richmond, young black kid. He was a good kid and he was smart. But he had 35 years. 35 years. He came into the cell. I was sitting there watching TV. Kind of moseying through a little book I was going, reading, and I look over, I'm like, door popped, and he comes in with his little tote bag. I kind of scoot up, I'm like, what's up, man? I'm L. He introduced himself accordingly. What's up? Are you good? Your charges, are you messed up? Nah, I'm good. Showed me the paperwork. We get to kicking it. He had a lot of questions. And I can give you all the answers that I've experienced in my life, but my answer to that question might not be the answer that you're going to have. My answers might not be what you want to hear. And a lot of times, a 40-year-old doesn't say what a 21-year-old wants to hear. They're hot-headed. They're full of pride. They're full of that young man angst. They really don't even know who the fuck they are. Now they're in prison for the rest pretty much of their natural life. He was a gangbanger, man. He was a blood, and the Bloods can be violent. They're structured to be violent. They're programmed to be violent. Especially the young ones. That's what they're meant for. They're missiles. They're torpedoes. And I'm trying to be the scud that stops him from tricking everything up and getting sent upstairs to the Onion or the Wallens Ridge, where he's locked down in a hut 23 hours a day. I told him, look, young man, I'm gonna be honest with you. The shit that you're involved in, it ends all bad. For you, for other people, maybe even me. Because if you bring that crazy shit to my house, then I gotta stand on it, right? Then I gotta be a man and say, hold up. And there were many times, like in the course of the few months that we lived together, it was very short-lived, that I tried to just engage a little bit, man. Tried to talk to the young man and say, look, you can't bring that. I would come back from work or my programs or my school, and it'd be 5 dudes in my house smoking weed. I don't get down like that. That's not my get down. I try to keep the police away from the hut. I try to keep as little attention as I can to my living situation. I'm not just an inmate. I'm a goddamn gang leader, and you are bringing a lot of bullshit to my house. For real, we shouldn't have even been celled together. But it is what it is. We don't always have control of who they put in the hut. A lot of white dudes will tell them, I don't want to, mix races in my cell, and they won't do that. I don't care, about that shit. So you can put anybody in there with me. I came home from work one day. He had a couple cats up in there, and they were getting high. I stepped in. I'm like, look, bro, I need the cell. I had in my business. I had to wash my face. It was almost dinner time. I had to take a shit. I was like, look, I need the cell for a little while. And the young boy caught like an attitude. He's like, yeah, you get it when we done. And they started laughing. And in my mind, I'm thinking, you don't act like this when it's me and you in here, but now you got your little homeboys. You think you're gonna be tough. You're gonna talk tough to the old man, right? You're gonna get your weight up on the white boy. Okay. I put my books down. I turned around to all 3 of them. I said, this is how it's gonna be. I'm asking you politely. I'm asking you respectfully. I'm asking you like men to respect my wishes that I need to sit down and take a shit in my cell. This isn't a fighting, this is not an altercation type situation, dog. When you live with another man, that man's gonna need that privacy sometimes. You need that because it's important. Otherwise it breeds frustration. And I'd already kind of gotten to the point with this dude where I was ready to get a different living situation already. But I'm not the type of dude that's gonna run to the LT and be like, I ain't feeling that. We can work it out together. One thing about it is, win or lose, I'm not afraid to throw hands. It is what it is, I've lost just as much as I won. When I said what I said, the little dude stood up. And my cellie at the time looks up, and I could tell like he really didn't want to be doing what he was doing, but he was following. He's a follower. He's not a leader. He's not a leader. He was a pawn in a dangerous game. He is a pawn for another man's puppeteer fingers. When the one boy stood up, I said, well, what's up, dude? What's up? And I got ready. The other one stood up. Now they're all up. I know what it is. I know I ain't got no wins in this fight. But I fight in my house because I have to. If I don't, I lose respect. I've been down too long. And I'm too damn old and I'm too damn ornery to allow some little 20-year-old punk to fucking talk shit to me or punk me in my own house. It's not gonna happen. It starts to escalate and we get loud. We're getting louder and louder. And literally getting ready to clutch. Dude that ran the pod for the Bloods was outside, a little bit down the way, playing poker. Overhears us, comes to the cell. He said, whoa, what's up? What's going on? What the fuck is this? That's what you mean, what the fuck is this, dog? Because I know the cat. We're good. We're on good terms. I tell him, look, you little dudes, and I want it to be, it's one of those moments where you're mad and you're emotional and you want to say what you want to say, like these little bitch ass mother, you know what I'm saying? But I don't do that. What I do is I'm like, look, bro, you guys are in here, your guys. I take all of the accountability off of the young dudes because I know they don't have any yet. I put it on their leader. You're the leader. You're the guy. I'm talking to you now. These motherfuckers are irrelevant at this time. I tell him, it's about to get super ugly in here. And I got something myself for all of y'all. The bone crusher, dog. I got a bone crusher. I got something that's gonna break every rib when I go in. It's gonna crack that sternum when I plunge it in your fucking chest. Get out of my house. He was a good leader. He wasn't a bad leader. He said to the boys, he said, why are y'all disrespecting the man in his house? This is not how we operate. This is not one of these white boys you can push around. Look at this motherfucker. You can't push that dude around. And when I heard him start to speak, I kind of eased up, but I was still on my guard. I have to remember these are kids in the big scheme of things. These are kids who grew up poor. These are kids who grow up in war zones. Got about a 4th grade reading education. Can barely write. A lot of these dudes can barely write their fucking name, much less do 35 years. He collected his little homies, took them out, comes into me and says, hey bro, no disrespect. I apologize. I said, I apologize myself. I should have came to you before I let my emotions get the best of me, which is what I should have done. I should have, when I walked in, I should have, when the first chuckle or laughter came out, I should have put my stuff down and gone to the big homie and said, look, we gotta have a talk. But the man inside of me would not let me do that. I will protect where I live. I'll fight 20 motherfuckers to protect where I live. I don't care. Because that's what a man is supposed to do. Fuck the gang shit. Fuck the jail, prison, all convict bullshit code, whatever. Fuck all that code of the street shit. I'm Lance. I'm a man. Fuck you. Get out of my house. But this is an all the time occurrence here in prison. They're not very smart when they just dump people. It's a warehouse. They're just dumping people in, dumping people in, dumping people in, dumping people in. Right? And at the end of the day, they create friction, they create static, they create problems. It's something that these youngsters need to think about. You think it's hard living with your auntie, or you think it's hard living with your mom and dad, Go stand in your bathroom right now and imagine you in there with me, 240 pounds, living 18 hours a day. Yeah. Because that's what it is. You live in a bathroom. There's always going to be that tension between generations. You see it out here, you see it in there. A lot of times, more times than not, honestly, we figure it out. And these youngsters are looking for a father figure. And we like to, older dudes, man, we like to try to help the situation because it makes our living environment better. We look at, as you get older, you try to look at the big picture of things. How your action will affect this and this. As a youngster, you don't see that. You're like, boom, 100 miles an hour. Let's get it. Boom, head on. Missile. That's why they're missiles. I was a missile. At 1920, I was a fucking rootin', tootin', fucking rock and rollin' badass little cracker that wanted to fucking fight everybody. Now, I'm an old man with arthritis. My hands hurt when I wake up. They hurt. I have used them so much in my life. They ache. My bones, they hurt from lifting so much heavy weight in prison, sleeping on a metal cot or cement bench with a mat this thick. I'm 260 pounds at the time with a mattress this big. Come the fuck on. Just wanted to give you something to think about. I want to put some content out there. Like I said, my tooth is insanely painful. I will be back at work tomorrow, God willing. And hey, much love to the Gladiator gang. Thank you for tuning in to Off the Yard. Once again, it's a beautiful day. Get out there, enjoy it, get after that bag. And hey, be a man. Okay? Hear that in your head. When you are in any situation out there, be a man or a woman. Just be a man. Don't be a jackass. Don't be a jackass, man. I love y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Till next time, baby. Stay sucker free.